Hello there, welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Gloria Umezuki. 400,000 persons across 12 states were affected by the latest flood, even as the water level in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital, begins to recede. The federal government is confident that the flood will not be worse than what was experienced in 2012. Well, while we hope that that is not the case, we try to find out what the situation is with those affected by the flood. In our interview this week, I spoke with the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency on the impact of the flood disaster. Take a listen. Engineer Maihaja, you're welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
It's been 2 weeks since you raised the alarm on flooding, and you have visited a lot of states, so far. What is the situation like?
Well, the situation, I must say, we had its worst and it's declining. The level as at yesterday was 11.05. The flood is receding, particularly in those states that we declared state of emergency, or rather national emergency. But as it recedes in this state, it goes down south. That is where we're having some challenges now. We're quite not happy, but the preparation was apt, so we're able to commence evacuation in both Bayelsa and Rivers, and so many people were evacuated.
We had similar indices, manifest itself from 2012 in 2018. And I mean, we've had a number of recorded deaths, displaced persons, misplaced livelihoods and the rest of it. What is the exact figure of people affected?
Well, the exact figure of people affected, 826,403 persons were displaced across the 12 states. Of course, we have about 87 local governments affected in all. 87
local governments in how many states? In the 12 states?
In 12 states, yes.
And so exactly how do you intend to intensify efforts? Because we understand recently that NEMA announced it needs 9 billion for effective response. Initially it was 12 billion. You claim to have received 3 billion. And now 9 billion is what is remaining for an effective response. How exactly do you aim to do this?
Well, I need to make clarification on that. What the money is needed at the beginning is first a mobilization of resources, personnel, equipment, and other things, plus feeding arrangement. So the feeding, we consider that the receding might take about 3 months, up to maybe January, February. So we extrapolate and come up with that estimated figure of 12 billion, and with 3 billion already approved by government, so the 9 billion, that's how we got to the 9 billion. So it's not that
that's how you got the 9 billion?
Yes, no, that's how the computation of 9 billion came about. Right. So it's not that we need 9 billion now. What we have is enough for us to start the operations, to move the operation for the next 30, 40 days. But we are collaborating with other donor agencies, with government, of course, is also always there for us. So we envisage that by the time, we need about 3 months or thereabout for the whole water to recede, and then we need some aspects of cleaning up and things like that. That is what adds up to 12 billion.
So you're saying between now and January,
yes,
you will get a total sum of 9 billion?
That is the requirement. That is what we estimated.
Have you gotten assurance from the government on that?
The government, the moment we said we need this 3 billion, it comes out immediately. And I assure you that all our requirements have been met in the past by government.
Are you satisfied with the efforts so far? Because recently again, you raised a red alert on Taraba State, some communities in Taraba State, meaning that there will be more instances like that.
Don't forget, Taraba State is part of the 12th state. We are aware of the issue of Taraba State. What happened is not something that we are not aware of. So we are aware that something of that nature can come up. It's just like the case of Bayelsa and Rivers. We knew that, yes, after some time, those 12 states, some of them will get will really face this kind of flooding.
At FEC, the federal government announced or gave an assurance that the water is receding, we have dwindling situations, and that the worst is over. Can you confirm that?
Yes, I can confirm that when looking at the level going down at the confluence of River Niger, where the measuring station is, River Niger and Benue, where the measuring station is, obviously it was the highest we recorded was 11.22, and now 11.05 as at yesterday. So it's coming down.
Do you see the level of disaster, coming down as well? Because
sure. The level of preparation, I must tell you that is quite well. We're well prepared because we started this preparation since the first pronouncement by NEMA and NISA. And then, of course, anyone can confirm to you that we carry out a lot of evacuation before it strikes. The level of the water, I must tell you, is worse than 2012. It's worse than 2012 because each day we recorded the figure. Like, for example, the day it was 11.22, that was, I can't remember, 3 days ago or 4, it was 10.84, 2012. So you could imagine that the levels, all the levels, right from 6th of September are more than that of 2012. And the level of devastation, as I saw in Anambra, Delta, and Kogi, as well as Niger, is you can't imagine that such kind of thing will happen. I've never imagined, because I went aerial view in this three-state Delta, Kogi and Anambra. I saw what I saw. It's really unimaginable.
Give us a feel of what you saw.
The feeling was so devastating. A whole community will be submerged. You cannot see a single roof. A whole community completely submerged. So that is what we saw on the 17th, that immediately we landed, we took the decision, all the stakeholders, that we must declare a national disaster. And we did.
Has it paid off right now?
Yes, it paid, because that gave us the opportunity to move fast. That gave us the opportunity to move all the federal response quickly, and then we saved the situation.
Do you get a sense of seriousness from the government when in 2012 we had a similar situation? According to you, 2018 is even, just a bit worse. And then we're in the same situation, like back to square one. In 2012, when we had that situation, we got a lot of promises from the government to put infrastructure, to put a lot of things in place to, bring down the level of maybe a disaster that just might occur, if it does occur in the future. But now here we are. What
I must tell you that this is it's a disaster. It has has a natural phenomena, and it was really aggravated by the climate change. If you observe, the scale of flood across the world is more or less similar. So the issue of we are not prepared. We are prepared. The level of deaths was not as much as 2012. 363 died in 2012. We had, of course, about 200 now. We are not saying that it's not much. It's much. A single life, it means a lot to the government.
Then, in the same breath, you're saying we were prepared.
Yes, preparation in the sense that all over the world, you can't stop disaster.
No one is saying you should stop the disaster. I'm saying that the number of deaths were equally as high.
What we are saying is to reduce to the lowest minimum you can. But don't forget that we came into this government just 2015. And then we could see the response level. The response level was really, has never been like this. The support of government was always there. And then we move in. And everyone could attest to the fact that the response time was reduced seriously. What is required to be done is after that, a serious engineering work that will require a lot of billions, and I'm sure government will find a solution, just as it is finding a solution in the case of power, the transportation system. This government will find a solution.
You see, when you say that this time you were prepared, I'm trying to really fathom exactly what you mean, because when in 2012 we had 363, and this year we had something almost close to that. What sort of preparedness is that?
Okay, you must understand that the concept of disaster management is disaster cycle. The cycle is preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery. Yes. The preparedness we had we had now is apt. You can attest to that. We can attest to the fact that the preparedness was apt. You could see now, we were able to evacuate people, we settle them, we feed them, we do all what is required to provide a certain level of
support. No matter how late, right?
No, it was not late. It was quite on time.
Why did we have the number?
For example, now, there are some people that everything you do, even enforcement, it was difficult to get them out. It was quite difficult to get. I was with the vice president. We approached some people in Anambra. He talked to them, said they can't go. So this is a social issue, which of course we really act well on that. A lot of them agreed, a lot of them understand. You could hear what the governor in Kogi said, or the traditional ruler said, that look, if you said they should move, where will they go? For example, after 2012, there are hostels created, a hostel constructed under the Presidential Committee of Flooding, Relief and Rehabilitation. So many hostels were built, and the people are occupying the hostels. These are all efforts by government to make sure that at least when people are asked to move, we have somewhere to take them.
Well, very quickly before we wrap up, you mentioned recently that your agency has concluded plans to repatriate 56,000 IDPs from Difa, that's in Niger Republic. What is the conclusion on that plan? No.
What we said that we identified Nigerians in Difa living there. All we did was to prepare to take care of them by giving them some clothing, giving them food, which we have done. This is what I'm telling you. But moving them now, it requires all stakeholders coming together, just like that of Cameroon. About 9,000 to 2,000 were identified. And you don't move people by force. It's only who wants to live by the international humanitarian laws. You can't force people out from where they are. So those that are willing to move have been negotiated and have been organized to move under a tripartite agreement between Nigerian government, UNHCR, and Cameroonian government. The process of moving people is just not to say we will. It's not. There are processes. So, and it's only when people are willing.
So how many have you moved right now?
Oh no, there's so many numbers were moved that agreed to move. In fact, they are moving, but the main project of moving them is about to commence. But people move on their own. We assist them to come when they are willing to move. But the actual program under the tripartite agreement, as just mentioned, is soon to commence. Very soon we'll commence that.
Well, that's as much as we can take right now. Engineer Maihaja Mustafa, thank you for joining us on the event.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your mails and tweets as always. Keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. See you again.